Hello, everyone. I'm Alex. Jen, thanks for the great intro. I don't have to say much for myself. I'm based in Amsterdam and I'm the founder of Bitterbrains. Jen actually also covered a lot of the products that we were going to cover, which is great. It makes my talk much easier to go through. So I want to welcome you all to another Nuxt Nation, the largest Nuxt conference in the world. This is the 4th year we're hosting Nuxt Nation, and it is crazy how time flies. It was like yesterday that we did the first concert with the Nuxt 3 spoilers. If you remember, that was like a unique Nuxt Nation concept. Over the years, at Nuxt Nation, we have welcomed over 30,000 attendees. And in this year specifically, we have people from 155 countries, and the top 10 countries being the ones listed on the screen. Nuxt Nation has always been completely free for everyone to attend in our mission of making education accessible around the world. And of course, this is all thanks to our amazing customers who support us and enable us to make this happen. Now, I know that most of our community are wondering what is Bitterbrains and why you likely never heard of this name before, unless you really like to read the fine print and you have looked at the footers of our websites. And this is because Bitterbrains was always called, and we called ourselves Vue School, since we served exclusively Vue developers, and Vue School was our first and most popular product. But now, after 7 years of running Bitterbrains, our product catalog has grown a lot and is not only about Vue.js. And we will learn more about this in this presentation. At Bitterbrains, we make developers' lives easier with accessible education, credible certifications, and engaging community events like this one. Our mission is to support the development industry, which is tough for everyone, really. On one hand, being a developer is really hard. As a developer, we first have to learn the skills to become one, and then we constantly have to keep up with new technologies, learn new best practices, keep our skills up to date, and the technology is always changing. And many developers often suffer from lack of confidence. It's pretty common, or even imposter syndrome. And another challenge that is interesting for being a developer is that we constantly have to keep up with work deadlines and solving everyday problems on top of having to keep our skills up. On the other hand, the businesses struggle as well, and actually the skill shortages cost businesses a lot of money. As a business, it's hard to find good developers, and then businesses end up assigning too much work to the good developers or to the developers they have because they need to get the job done. And also, it's very common to have revenue losses due to technical issues or lack of resources. And this is either delaying the product development, it can be having bugs, or even just having a slow website. Like if the website is not performance, this is very expensive for a large enterprise. And at Bitterbrains, we're addressing these problems with effective solutions, with all of our products on certification, training, and even business services. And we always strive to create effective solutions that really make developers' lives easier. And I have an example here from our Vue.js certification program that before we developed, we spoke with our community of Vue developers. We surveyed over 2,700 people, and we wanted to understand how we can make the program the most helpful for them. And from our research, we realized that most of the industry developers already work professionally in front-end development jobs for at least 3 years. And still, for all of them, for the 95% actually, the Vue certificate would increase their professional credibility. I was also impressed to see that this would be the first certificate on their CV for about 70% of the audience. So people saw something in the platform we were developing that didn't see in other certification programs. And we also had this struggle to find a suitable platform to host the Vue certificate, because we had some specific things in mind on how it should work, how we can assess a developer, how they can do code challenges, solve bugs, how we want to make sure people don't cheat, and all of this spectrum. And we were so disappointed with the options we had out there that we ended up developing the full software in-house. And with the platform and the program we developed, we managed to provide great value to our customers, to all of the developers who did take the exam, and we saw an impressive 76% seeing their skills improving by doing the exam, even though they were already professional Vue developers. And 88% suggested that they would believe a certified Vue developer knows how to use the framework efficiently. And the Vue certificate is just one of the 15 products that we have developed at Bitterbrains over the last 7 years. I think Jen mentioned like a lot of information about them, so I will send you the details and I will mention just a bunch of the highlights. I started the business Bitterbrains with Vue School back in 2017. That's why we used this name. This was our first and flagship platform at Bitterbrains. And after the success of the book that was in 2016, the idea was to continue supporting my readers to learn Vue.js deeper and build real-world applications with the first Vue.js masterclass. That course is still quite popular. You might have watched that masterclass, the 2017 edition, or another version of the Vue.js masterclass, because we have created a lot of remastered versions. And we even have a new one, the 2024, that is currently being developed and releases lessons every week for a little more. I think we are like a bit over 100 lessons, and we're concluding with this one soon. Next, in 2021, Nuxt was getting quite popular. So we decided to create the Mastering Nuxt platform to support Nuxt developers in the same way in building real-world applications as we did for Vue School. And moving on a year, like 2 years later, that was in 2019, 2021, we hosted the first Nuxt Nation, which was the first large exclusive conference for developers interested in Nuxt.js, and it was also a big hit. Moving to 2023, we launched a Vue certificate in partnership with Evan Yu, who has reviewed all of our certification examination content and code challenges. And like I said, we developed the full platform in-house, and we saw that it had great impact to the Vue community. It was very helpful, both for a lot of developers and also businesses saw value utilizing it for both training and recruiting. So we decided to expand this platform that we developed into its own framework. So we moved it to certificates.dev in order to make it helpful for more developers. And in 2024, we hosted Frontend Nation, one of the largest front-end events for all of the front-end developers. And we had our first customer ever who was not a Vue developer this July when we released the Angular certificate. At Bitterbrains, we're a fully remote international team, and this year we grew to 31 talented individuals from all over the world. We also work closely with advisors because we want to always make sure that our content is top-notch and that we teach you guys the best practices and the content is spot on. So I'm sure all of you know at least some of the people on the screen that provide us guidance on our certification and on our training content. We also support the open source development of the frameworks with our revenue sharing models from all of our official products like Mastering Nuxt, the official Vue certificate, and the official Nuxt certificate. In 2023 alone, we served over 2 million developers. And this audience includes a lot of professionals from top businesses like Google, Apple, Microsoft, Samsung, Accenture, and really like thousands others. And we also hosted some of the largest online events in our industry, while we served 156 countries, with the top being the USA, Germany, Netherlands, India, France, and Brazil. And today, I'm thrilled to announce that at Bitterbrains, we are raising funding to support even more developers worldwide and support them better. But we are not raising funding in the traditional way, at least not in our first round. Bitterbrains has always been a community-first company. So we thought it would be best to invite our friends, family, and community to be the first to buy a stake in our business. And this is made possible with equity crowdfunding. This is a way for startups to raise funds from a large group of investors. Our crowdfunding is hosted in partnership with Republic, an industry-leading investment platform that allows everyone to invest in startups. And for the record, that was previously, like some years ago, only possible and available to the most wealthy people. At Bitterbrains, we have had some since our inception. Over these years, we have launched 15 products. We have multiplied our revenue by 48x in 6 years, and we had over 100% growth last year in 2023. And we want to invite you to be part of our growth. With your investment, we aim to improve our platforms and develop more content, both more content for the platforms that we run, but also more content for new platforms and new services. Part of this is that we want to expand our certification offerings. We want to provide and include more technologies, like more JavaScript frameworks, like we still haven't touched React. We also want to be into TypeScript, like specific CSS. We do a lot of surveys, as you probably know, and we see what the community needs the most first, and we prioritize that way. So there is so many more platforms that we have to create content for training. Every certificate has self-training guides, online bootcamps, and examinations. We also are looking to increase, of course, our marketing efforts and continue supporting the open source community with resources and financially. And lastly, develop new educational products. We are crazy about building. We love innovating. We love creating new products and new services all the time. And this is what we have been enjoying doing these 7 years. And we're also looking to expand into some new areas, like also artificial intelligence. And specifically, we want to start with some content and training for AI for web developers. We think this is a really hot tool that can make web development much more efficient in a way that previously a new framework would get you from, vanilla JavaScript to using a framework. It feels that now we are in a state where using AI, it will have about the same productivity or similar productivity boost. So this is definitely an area that we are currently investigating and planning to make more content. So you're all welcome to join our mission as a shareholder in Bitterbrains. We launched this campaign today, just a few hours ago. Actually, it has been like really a crazy week. I was making these slides up until 3 minutes before I joined the stage. And I want to welcome you all to join our mission. We offer early investor benefits until the end of day Thursday, because this helps us get more marketing support from the platforms of investors. And we always want to award the early adopters and the early birds. So we also have additional perks for the first 100 folks who invest. And I have to say, I'm like super excited because we launched the campaign some hours ago, and we hit the minimum funding goal before we send the email announcements. People just had it in calendars or figured out from videos, and we hit the goal before we hit send on the announcement email. That made me like really happy, like really rewarding after so much hard work to getting this thing out. And it's always amazing seeing how many people are excited to join and be part of our mission. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining and being part of our community. I hope you all enjoy the conference.
Splendid. Thank you, Alex. We do have a couple questions for you, and congratulations.
Thank you, Jen.
Funding is a big thing, but that does lead to our first question. Vue School and Bitterbrains have been bootstrapped so far. Why start raising funding now?
This is a good question. We get this quite often recently. So at Vue School initially, and I'm sure like you can notice in our graph, we had one product. It took us a couple of years. We made one more, so we had a much slower production rate, and it was only a couple of people back in the day. Even back 4 days ago, 4 years ago, we were just 5 people. And after being in this industry for so many years, we have developed these services and this framework of products, what consists a certificate, like what are the components of how do we make the training, how do we make the curriculum for the workshops, like the 3-week bootcamps or the exam content challenges and so on. So now that we have made this fully for both for Vue.js, for Nuxt, JavaScript, and Angular as of recently, in the last 3 months. Now we want to replicate this and expand into many more frameworks and technologies. And we also created another problem for ourselves as an insight. Like the more we grew, the more growing scale problems we are facing, which can either be like with organization or now by having 15 platforms. Like imagine that all of these platforms, they have 4 or 5 social media profiles, if you think of X, Facebook, Insta, YouTube and whatnot. So eventually we have to manage 75 profiles just to say to make a tweet or to make a post or something. So yeah, it's also the problems that come with scale to continue scaling.
Yay, thank you. All right. What about improving current platforms? Is this in your plans too?
Absolutely. This is one of also of our top priorities. I think we can provide a lot of more value to the users of our current platforms, both with the technology. We're planning a lot of upgrades for our new platforms. We're releasing the both performance updates, like new designs also for Vue School. We have this in our roadmap, but also content-wise. We want to create more content for Vue.js, for Nuxt, for mastering Nuxt. We are planning with Michael now to create a series of courses. So starting in a month or so, we plan to have a series of courses on Nuxt 4 and also more content on the ecosystem of Nuxt. So the mastering Nuxt platform will also change to be to have support for multiple courses and more of a catalog versus now that it's more of one flagship masterclass.
Very cool. Last question. Is the Republic platform also for the EU or EU?
Yes. So Republic is available to international investors. So it supports a lot of countries and most countries from the EU as well. But when you sign up on Republic, it will have 2 options to sign up for the US and for the EU. Everybody should sign up for the US side because this is where the crowdfunding takes place. And then everyone can use their local address, and any country is supported. But our listing is not available on the Republic EU platform, but it is available for EU residents.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Alex. This is all exciting news. And also thank you for the conference.
Awesome. Thank you, Jen. Good luck. Have fun. Enjoy the conference.